I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to the Board of Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. So, first order of business is any additions, deletions, or other modifications to the agenda. I have a couple. One is I would like to move the executive session, which is listed under reports and letters from Chief Kilcullen, to the end of the meeting. And I would also like to add from Treasurer Markowski an engagement letter from the auditor. So if I could have a motion to make those two moves.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, very good. So next up is an amendment and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion's been made to approve. It's been seconded. Anybody have any changes they want to make to the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next up is the public comment. Is there anyone here tonight, outside the rail, who would like to address the board on an issue that is not on the agenda? And if you do, just raise your hand. Any takers? Okay, there is one taker. So, good evening, welcome. If I could just ask politely, as I always do, for your name and address for the record.
Bob Perro, 10 Melrose Avenue, right in Rutland City.
Thank you, Bob.
Despite what some people say, I don't like speaking in public. It's not one of my favorite things. Things I'm about to say and the questions I'm about to ask are rhetorical. I'm not asking for a response to those. What I am wondering is where we go from here. Last Alderman meeting, I do believe that there was a resolution that people were supposed to vote on. And it seemed that there was a clear division on how that vote was done. My main concern with that isn't the fact that I don't know enough about the resolution to say, yes, you should have passed it, no, you shouldn't have passed it, this person should have voted, this person shouldn't have voted. What I take a problem with is the division that was caused after this had happened. Certain people, I've seen name calling, things like that, of fellow aldermen. I'm looking at some of the aldermen that have been on the board for quite a while now, and a lot of them have been nurses. One of them works for Brock, we all know that. We've got people that have dedicated their lives to the city, and I like to think that one of the reasons that we have a city right now and the city is the way that it is because we've had these people step up and they've supported the city for a very long time. And for fellow aldermen to call them names, especially on political Facebook posts, I'm not trying to sound hypocritical here. Anybody that follows me on Facebook doesn't last long. I'm horrible with that stuff, and I'll be the first one to admit it. But I'm also not in the public eye. And I'm also not sitting right across from the same people that I have to make decisions with on a daily basis. My problem was not the resolution. My problem is that calling out the people that in the last election upseated quite a few votes, or quite a few people that were in here, and actually got, if I remember right, I believe Sharon Davis actually got the #1 vote getter as far as older people go. And to lower ourselves to calling each other names just because we don't happen to agree is a real problem. Because again, like I asked, where do we go from here? If you cannot have a civil conversation with somebody, even if you don't like what they have to say, then what are you doing? Give up your job. Don't be here. Don't be on this board. There's a lot of people here, as I've said before. They've done a lot of good for this community, and they've served this community very, very well. Some of them have served this community much longer than some of us have been around. Some of us have served this committee much longer than some people have even known Rutland existed or knew what it was. And I believe that they should be treated with the same respect that they treat everybody else with. The moment that we start turning down into name calling, we've literally destroyed any argument that we have. I will say on the resolution, I do believe that I saw that Matt Whitcomb, somebody that I've not necessarily gotten along with 100% of the time, did abstain from a vote. And for that, I commend him because he said it would have been a conflict of interest. Again, questions are rhetorical. They're for people to actually think about. But you need to seriously think about where you go from here. You cannot sit across from somebody. You're all on committees. You're all sitting across from committees. I know for a fact that Sharon Davis and Alderwoman McClure are on a committee together. And if there's going to be name calling, how in the world do you get anything done behind closed doors if you can't even look at each other and have a civil conversation? I guess that's where I'm going to end it. But I think that's a question that everybody needs to ask. The name calling needs to stop, especially if you're sitting on this board. You have a duty to be ethical. You have a duty to uphold what this board means. And there's a lot of people that have come into this board that I've been looking at that have been dressing up, trying to bring some decorum back to it. Mudslinging and calling names, that's not bringing decorum back to the board. That's a black eye in our city, and it's making people seriously question what's going on in here. And we don't need that right now. We have enough stuff on our plate. So thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on an issue not on the agenda? Seeing none, we are going to move on. Next up is communications from the mayor. Mayor Dungus, the floor is yours.
Good evening.
Evening.
My first request is that you untable the nomination for Clair Purcell for Rutland Planning Commission and circulate the ballot box for signature.
Motion to untable and circulate the ballot box.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes.
I just had a question, if I could. Is Claire here?
I didn't see her.
No, she's not here.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion was made to untable and to circulate the ballot box. So if we're going to take a couple of minutes to stand down here, and you can dig out your yays and nays, and then we'll get right back to you, Mayor.
No worries.
I think we got to go digging, so.
What's that?
I think people got to go digging and make
Yeah,
sure.
no worries. No worries.
Mary's our official counter.
And Treasurer Markowski will count the results.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
Great.
Okay, we'll come back to you, Mayor.
No problem. So first off, there's been a couple of requests to have JCI come and present and give an update to the board. We made that request. We did get a paper report sent, which I'll send to the board, but we pushed back, not that we needed to, I think it was unclear, the request, that we wanted them to actually come and present. So I've asked Vic or one of his team members to be here at the next Board of Aldermen meeting, so I'll make sure that gets taken care of.
Okay.
We have two settlements and then an additional one for the opioid settlements. One is the Purdue settlement and one is I don't know how to say it, Alvogen? I don't think I can pronounce that. Settlement, and the Attorney Bloomer has reviewed those settlements. He says if the board agrees, they're good to sign, so I need a motion for the board to approve me to sign those agreements.
Okay, so this is the Purdue settlement and the Alvogen settlement?
Yes.
Okay, all
Move to
right.
suspend the rules to take the matter up tonight.
All righty, and there's a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. And? Alderwoman Taddeo?
To authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary to participate in the settlements with Purdue and Alvogen.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any questions or debate on that motion?
I appreciate Matt Bloomer's analysis for us so that we can be educated in making this decision, and it is, in my opinion, the right one to accept this offer and sell.
Absolutely, so do I.
May, Mr.
Alderman
Chair,
Davis.
we did receive an email, it was forwarded to us, and Matt also talks about execute all documents necessary to participate in the settlements and the 8 secondary manufacturers.
Yes, I'm gonna get to that.
That's gonna be a second motion.
I'm getting
All
to
right,
that next,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
Okay,
you.
ready. Any further debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, Alderman Davis, for being on top of that. That's perfect. So there is also a small handful of secondary manufacturers, a settlement. All of those settlements will total what Attorney Bloomer has calculated up to about $17,000 for the city. So it's not a lot. It's not necessarily worth spending a ton of time in legal analysis and dollars. So if that's something the board would like to do, a similar motion to participate in the secondary manufacturer settlement would be in there.
So I have a question. Do we have to opt in, so to speak, to the settlement? What do we necessarily have to do?
So we are opting into this. There's a couple of options with these. We can either opt out, which means we might have the option to sue separately in the future.
Okay.
Right? We can opt in, and then if we opt in this case, we would receive the funds. We can also defer those funds to the state, but that doesn't seem to be.
That doesn't seem quite right.
So you need another motion?
Right.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and take the matter up.
Second.
Alrighty, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Alderman Talbot?
And I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to execute all documents necessary to participate in the settlements with the 8 secondary manufacturers.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on that one? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Okay?
Right? That's it for those two.
Yeah.
I have in your board packet, we have the 107 West Street lease. So this is the parking lot that resides on West Street, kind of next to West Street Grill there. The city entered into a lease agreement with MKF Properties several years ago, before my time, and that lease was then extended, I think it was a year and a half ago or so. And MKF Properties is looking to execute their option on that agreement. There's no action needed from the board on that. We can proceed with that property sale because it's already written up and drafted in the agreement according to Attorney Bloomer, but I wanted to make sure it was on record here and that everyone was aware that option agreement is being exercised. Any questions on that?
Okay, so that's FYI. Anyone have any questions on the parking lot?
I do have a quick follow-up on that.
Okay.
There will be proceeds from the parking lot sale, and I do think the board should because I look back, we couldn't find where those funds, if those funds were established, but the board probably should refer to the finance committee where to land those funds when they come back up through the sale.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to refer to finance, and it's been seconded. Yeah, Alderman Gillum?
Just make it clear, it's not 145, it's 117.7, correct? Because they've already put 25% of $27,000 into the lease, and that's part of the agreement. Whatever they paid in the lease, it get taken off the purchase price.
That's right, so there'll be a final, that's correct.
Okay, anyone else? Yes, Alderman Donahue.
Just to say the same thing, that there's plenty of information in the board packet to do our homework on this and be prepared to support the mayor in his request.
Okay, good. Yeah. Any other questions? Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Okay?
Wonderful. Last thing tonight for me is there's a settlement agreement with Stephen Box. The board had actually approved this settlement agreement. The language is different because it's from a different attorney. I just need you to approve this new language so that I can sign off on it. So the board already approved the language from our city attorney. Stephen's attorney came back with a different set of language. In order to proceed, we just need.
And so the amount is the same?
The amount's the same,
Everything
the
else is the
rules are the same, it's just a different format.
Okay. Alderwoman Taddeo.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
All righty, motion has been made to suspend, and it's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Alderwoman Taddeo.
And motion to approve the updated Stephen Box agreement and release.
Second it.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Alderman Gillum.
The number here, $891.05, that's still the same as we agreed upon?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
And I'm
Alderman
just
Davis.
wondering if the motion needs to include to authorize the mayor to sign.
That'd be great.
And to authorize the mayor to sign.
That's a friendly amendment. Thank you very much. All righty, any further debate? Very friendly amendment. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
That's it for me.
That's it for you, yes. And on the vote for Clair Purcell for the Planning Commission, yes, 3, no, 7. Clair Purcell is not approved. All righty, so, next up. Yes,
Can I ask a question of the mayor while he's still right here?
you certainly may.
I understand the bids for legal services have been opened.
Yes.
When do you think the board will be able to see those?
I'd be happy to share them immediately. I have Desiree in our legal offices kind of giving them a first glance for us, but I'd be happy to share them with the board.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All
Anything
set?
else? Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor. Okay, let's move on. Consideration of special event permits requests. First up is the Walk to End Alzheimer's on Rutland on Saturday, September 27th, 2025 at Meadow Street Park. The event runs from 7 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. You'll find any backup information on pages 13 or 14 of your agenda. And it looks like we have a guest here tonight. So welcome, thank you very much. And if I could ask, like I always do, name and address for the record.
My name is Jasmine Ferrari. I'm up at 75 Talcott in Williston, Vermont.
Thank you, Jasmine.
So with more than 12.8 thousand of our Vermont community over the age of 65 living with an Alzheimer's diagnosis, this is a cause that affects so many of us. So the Walk to End Alzheimer's is a chance for us to fundraise for more programs in the community, helpline services free of charge for families, those living with a diagnosis, and professionals in the community, and more treatment options and research for those treatment options, and hopefully one day a cure. So I want to invite all of you to come to the Walk to End Alzheimer's again on September 27th. It'll probably be done closer to 1 o'clock. We do walk through from Meadow Street. We have an ADA accessible walk. This year, this is our second year. Last year it was so amazing to have people in walkers, in wheelchairs, being able to access the walk itself. And then we do come through the downtown, which is really exciting to be able to still be a part of the farmers market and the community that is in the downtown as well. So.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well,
I'll move
terrific.
to suspend the rules.
Okay, motion's been made to suspend the rules, take the issue up tonight.
Second.
And it's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
And I'll move to approve the special events permit for Walk to End the Alzheimer's for September 27th to begin at 7 a.m. Is that correct?
It technically starts at 8:30 a.m. We just
8:30.
start setting up at
Great.
dawn.
Very early,
That's
right?
a little early.
And then can I also, thank you.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to approve the request. Does anyone have any questions for our guest or any comments they'd like to make on this event, which I've taken part of in previous years, and it's a wonderful event, so.
There is also a random, sorry about this, there's a flyer in there. We are doing Moments in Time, which is a art exhibit that will have our opening reception Thursday night of this week at the Downtown Partnership Office. All of the works that are presented in that are from those living with dementia throughout their journey.
Nice.
So please do join us for that.
Terrific, okay. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, thank you. All righty, next up, Whoopie Pie Mile, Saturday, the 13th of September, Meadow Street Park. The hours I have here is 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. I believe we were forwarded some information on that earlier today from Colleen Shattuck. Everyone should have gotten that.
Move to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules, take the issue up tonight. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
And I'll move for the approval of the special events permit for the Whoopie Pie Festival,
Second,
or the Whoopie Pie Mile,
I'm
excuse
sorry.
me.
Okay.
second.
So the event, the Whoopie Pie Mile, the motion is to approve. It's been seconded. Anyone have any questions on that? Any concerns? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, thank you very much. So that takes care of special event permit requests. Next up is reports and letters from department heads and officials. We'll go right down the list here. First up is a note from Tim Smith, our arborist. And this regards the emerald ash borer, which is always a happy note in Rutland City. But Tim, welcome.
Thank you. Tim Smith, Orwell.
Thank you. And we love Orwell.
Yes. So I just wanted to give an update on emerald ash borer. Those of you who don't know what it is, it's an invasive insect pest that effectively kills ash trees. And once it infests the tree, it's pretty much 100% mortality rate for those trees. As far as the city goes, we started our approach to this probably 5 or 6 years ago when emerald ash borer was first found in the state, and that was 2018, I guess, so maybe it was 7 years ago we started dealing with it. We decided to kind of act proactively because dead trees aren't as safe to work on versus live trees. So we went through and inventoried our street trees and removed of the 350 street trees, which are ones that have been planted in green belts, we removed about 200 of those, and it left us with an inventory of about 150 that we now treat every 2 years with a systemic insecticide to preserve these trees, and they're scattered throughout different neighborhoods, so we have some diversity in species in those areas. I guess the reason I'm really here is because just to give kind of public notice, we found emerald ash borer. It hadn't been found in the city we found it a month ago, so it hadn't been found until then. And we found it in the cemetery on North Main Street in a large white ash. So I guess as far as the city goes and municipal trees, the trees that we still have out on the streets are being treated, so they're protected from it. But people that have them in their yards, they might want to start considering options, whether it probably 50% cost difference to remove a live healthy tree, even though it's kind of harder to bring yourself to removing a tree that's still alive versus when it's dead. There's less options as far as they have to use some type of crane or bucket truck or lift. You can't climb dead trees necessarily. And this also, if you have trees you want to preserve, there's options, which same option we do as far as a systemic insecticide. There's 2 companies actually, there's not that many statewide, but we have 2 in Rutland. Trees Incorporated does it, and then Kahn's Tree Service, and Bill Kahn's actually here. He's also a first detector of the insect for the state, so if anybody had any questions for him specifically too, they could ask him. He also has ID cards that if anyone's interested in it, shows you what you'd be looking for with this particular insect. So I guess that's really it.
Okay, well, questions for our guests tonight. Alderman Clifford.
Thank you, Mr. President. So you mentioned there's an IPI card.
Yeah.
Is there any way that can be put on our website?
Oh yeah, sorry. The state has vtinvasives.org. I think we could put it, I don't know, Bob, did you talk to, they have it in the office, but I don't know if it's on the website, a link to it. And it gives you all the information as far as the list of contractors that are certified to inject these trees. If you're interested in that option, it has that on there. Has all the identification and different stuff about the insect itself.
But we just put it on there on
Public Works? Yeah, we can get that on there. But it's vtinvasives.org again, just for anybody's
Thank you.
information. Yeah.
Good. Anyone else with any questions? Tim? And I'm sure our local media will write a little something so that the folks out there.
I was hoping for, as far as we wanted to come here and present to the board first, just
Yep.
to, because it's been an issue in the state, like it's still a buzz around the state because a lot of towns, they have hundreds, if not thousands of roadside ash trees. It can be 20 to 30% of a hardwood forest can be ash. So you have these back roads lined with dead or potentially dying trees. So it's a ticking time bomb for
Yep.
them, I guess.
Yeah.
And, but as far as we sit as a municipality, we're protected from it, I guess.
Good, good.
Yeah, trying to be
That is
proactive.
excellent work. I remember talking about that.
Yeah, I
few
mean,
years
we
ago.
haven't visited
It
in
was
a while, but we thought,
Wentworth.
Yeah.
When, yeah.
we thought it would be cool that 20 years from now, when all the ash have died, because it came into like Ohio and Michigan first back in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
they pretty much 99% of their ash trees are gone. So we kind of figured 20 years from now,
Sad.
people might not see them many ash trees, but if
Right.
they come to Rutland City, there's 40-inch diameter ones on streets that they can, I don't know, it's kind of neat.
We gotta put that on the chamber website.
For a tree guy, I guess.
All right, very good. Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very interesting. Appreciate that very much. Thank you, Tim. Okay, Barbie Spaulding is next up. Horizons Early Learning Center BIAP loan forgiveness. And good evening, Barbara.
Good evening. So a $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan was awarded to Horizons Early Learning Center in 2021, and it reached the end of its 3-year loan term on November 1st, 2024. In October of 2024, Jody Smith and James Schneider requested an extension and outlined the many delays and roadblocks they had experienced. The city attorney reviewed the request and determined that a 6-month extension was allowable under the loan agreement. On Tuesday, August 26th, the RRA board reviewed the borrower's final report dated August 25th and determined that Horizons Early Learning Center had met the obligations required in the BIAP loan agreement and therefore qualified for forgiveness of the loan by the city. And the RRA respectfully requests that the board forgive the loan at this time and authorize the mayor to notify the borrower and treasurer that the loan has been forgiven. And tonight, James and Jody are here to answer any of your questions and maybe say a few words about the process.
Okay. Would you like to address the board here before we take any action?
Sure.
Okay.
And I did bring pictures because pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? So the project was very long and very arduous. I always make a joke that my hair was brown before we started. It's not exactly true. But we are in the facility. We've been in, I think, 11 weeks now. We have 54 children enrolled. We're hearing comments like state-of-the-art facility, Rutland's lucky to have you, and things like that. It's a gorgeous facility. In fact, we wanted to invite anybody that wants to come see it sometime. All right.
Good.
Just thank you very much. It's big help and just really means a lot to us, so all of it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So a motion to suspend would be in order.
So moved.
All righty. All righty. Motion is to suspend the rules, take the issue up tonight. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. And Alderwoman Taddeo?
Yes, I will move to forgive the loan and authorize the mayor to notify the borrower and treasurer that the $10,000 BIAP forgivable loan to Beth Taub Rutland, Inc., doing business as Horizons Early Learning Center, that the loan has been forgiven as of September 2nd, 2025.
Okay.
Second.
All righty. Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions for our guests? Alderman Wickham?
Yeah, not a comment, just a comment.
Yep.
Incredible work, guys. So pumped to see this in the community. It's a very special offering, and the kids are really going to benefit. So thank you so much.
All righty. And Alderman Donahue?
Well, I'm going to echo Alderman Wickham's comments. This is a huge success. So the BIAP program, the Business Incentive Assistance Program, this is how it works. So this is creating, as I count, about a dozen jobs, Mr. Chairman. In addition, the capacity for 63 children, including infants. Right now, when daycare is at a premium, it's very difficult for working moms and dads to access daycare. And it is a priority for the state of Vermont. Rutland is very fortunate to have this accomplished. And I would point out that our unemployment rate is at 2.6%, with the rest of the nation at 4.2%. So we do need our workforce, and daycare makes a difference, and this is a shining example. So great job and success for the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, and and for these business owners. Thank you.
Cool, good, thank you. Alderman Gillum?
I'm just going to comment that we have a good neighbor in that area because they really cleaned up the building, gave a good curb appeal, and it looks very nice from the road. Thank you very much for preserving the neighborhood.
Okay, anyone else? Motion is to approve, and it's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? Motion passes. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. All right, moving on. Director Dahlin, change orders for Main Street Park. Please. And welcome to the Board of Aldermen meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess I'll start off with, I'm not asking for money, so. Procedural technicality, I hope.
Okay.
Here. So, as we have dove back into the Main Street Park project, the gazebo with a column replacement, it was discovered that the ties that hold basically the roof structure to the concrete foundation have failed over the 100 years. So metal and moisture just don't mix. So in process, also 2 of the headers, the westernmost header that is by the stairs that lead into the new sidewalk, and then the one just to the south of that, we discovered that they have some severe rot in them from just years of bugs and everything. So I did send out some photos. I think you guys got them in a packet, just to kind of show what we're dealing with. So Russell, as they do, looked at what's there, gave us a couple quotes on fixing what is needed. So we did get a good solution for the collar ties, or the column ties. Basically, so out of the 8 that are there, 2 are completely gone. They were replaced with telephone poles almost 30 years ago. So I called Bob Peterson, the parks director prior. They had been replaced before he got here. So of the remaining 6, 4 had failed and 2 remained. So we figured instead of just fixing 6, let's fix all 8 and let's fix it right. So, because I don't want to be back in it in a few years. So 2 quotes came in, or 1 quote for that came in at $7,430.50. So I'm looking for approval to sign that amount. We do currently still have $14,117.53 left in the funds that were allocated to the project. So that will come out of those funds to fix those columns. So that would be the first request.
Okay, all righty.
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Second.
All righty, motion to suspend and take it up tonight. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
And I'll move for the approval of the change request for the column tie, roof framing, and finished trim in the amount of $7,430.50.
Second that, Mr.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded. Any questions? Please, Alderman Gillum.
Comment for the people at home, we're not just voting on this because you can see it. He sent real good pictures. There's really some real deterioration going on in there.
Absolutely.
We need to really clean it up once and for all. That way we're not going back. This is definitely well spent money.
Money well spent. All righty. Anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So second one, so the concrete, the pad that was poured for the new floor, it was built to spec. There was when it was poured, there was like a little wing that kind of came around the front of the column and it wrapped the front. Over the winter and through settling and stuff, it looked like they've cracked and they've started to chip out. So hindsight 2020, there probably should have been a piece of rod that extended out into that little piece. So, so we do have to fix it. I don't want to have this whole thing done and leave that last blemish there. So the thought is that they're just basically going to remove the piece by cutting it at an angle, grind it off, and then put it and finish it so it looks as it should. So the repair of that is $3,008.50. Again, I still had money left from what was allocated prior. So overall, the total cost to fix everything was $10,439. So that would leave me with $3,678.53 total to finish off the remainder, which I will speak to that after after this one. So looking for approval to fix the concrete slab wing repair.
Concrete slab wing repair.
So I'll move to suspend the rules.
Yep, motion's been made to suspend. There's a second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes.
And I'll move for the approval of the concrete slab wing repair for a total of $3,008.50.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Any questions on that one? Yes, Alderman Copley.
Tyler, does that, is the painting, is that going to be part of that $3,000?
No, the painting is Paul Gallo is doing that as a gift from his company to the city. So that does not go into that. That's just the repair of the concrete pieces.
That's why we're on budget.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed. Motion passes.
So really the remainder of the project that we have, as of now, I will hopefully not be back here to ask for anything else. We just have to finish electrical. So as of Monday, we're gonna try to get the electrical up into the roof structure. So in my normal operating budget, I do have a repair and maintenance of buildings line, which is allocated to anything that doesn't really have a budget. So that's the pavilion at Meadow Street, that's Main Street Park Pavilion, that's the pavilion at Rotary Park. So there's $8,300 that's left in that operational budget line right now. So the hope is that, and it will, that the remaining funds that we have that is allocated to the project and the remainder of those, which we should not have to spend all of it, will finish up all the electrical, the painting, and then we also have all the wainscoting that we're putting in up on the ceiling structure. So there was also activities money that I spoke to Mary about, and also April. In our activities fund, there's about $1,500 in park beautification. I don't know what I'm ever going to spend that on, so I feel like if possibly this would be a really good spot to maybe spend that money, so that $1,500. So we will come on budget and we will get it done.
All right.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
No, we appreciate it. Yep, thank you. Thank you very much. We all look forward to the eventual end of it. So, next up is Chief Lovett, Fire Union's request. Good evening, Chief.
This is more of an informational update. Attorney LaChance had briefed the board in the fact that the union has asked for inclusion of the lieutenants in the bargaining unit. Just to let you know that there's ongoing talks between the city, former city attorney representing the city and the union's attorney moving forward on this, and it has been presented to the labor board for review. So it's more of an update of what we had, and
Okay, so this is FYI, not looking for any action from the board, so we know what's going on. Alderwoman Davis.
Just a question, so, and maybe this is the mayor, who is representing the city? Do we have a seat at the labor board, or we just wait for the decision?
So right now, we're in preliminary talks because of the request from the union to add the lieutenants. So Facey Gossett McPhee and Megan LaChance is actually representing us for Facey Gossett McPhee at the moment.
okay.
So she's carrying it forward because she had the experience.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. That it? Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, Chief. Appreciate it, Bill. Okay, so moving on. Looks like we have several items from Treasurer Markowski. So we will ask if she would join us. Evening, Mary. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you.
You can go one at a time there.
Yep, one at a time. The first item that I had was a request for referral on the city purchasing policy. If you recall, on the ballot in March, there was an item regarding the purchasing policy and the bid process. So in the Board of Finance, we've discussed it several times, and it seems that it should really go to committee, so we could look at that threshold and maybe increase it from the 3,000 to, I'm not sure what, up for discussion.
Alderman Gillum.
Move to refer to the Finance Committee.
Second.
Okay, motions to refer to finance, and it's been seconded. We'll have the discussion there. Alderwoman Davis?
Just a question, Mary, just remind me, so the ballot item just said to raise it over 3,000?
No, it said, it originally read, purchases in excess of 3,000 shall be awarded upon bids as set forth in the remainder. And now it reads, purchases in excess of the amount identified in the city's purchasing policy.
Okay, thank you.
So it will be through the purchasing policy.
Okay, thank you, I
Yep.
appreciate that.
Okay, referral to finance, it's been seconded. No further debate, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, next up is the, one of the reports, this one, June 30, 2025.
Okay, so June 30, 2025, I'll start by saying it's still a work in process. When we get to the engagement letter for the auditors, you'll see the scope and understand a little bit more about what we need to do to close out those financials and work with the auditors. So there's subject to change what I've given you, but at the same time, important information as we get to the budget process. And I would probably update those numbers for you before we get to the budget. So very helpful when we're sitting at the table to know what was spent last year and to have a good number there. So I would refresh that. But I took a little bit of time today to just highlight some things that are different in here. We had set up a buildings fund, Fund 305. So that is where you will see the JCI project in that. It's a capital fund. So that's where you'll see the accounting for the JCI project and also the Giorgetti project. And I know from the department head meeting this morning when Tyler was there that that project will likely wrap up pretty quickly early in October, that Giorgetti project. But that's where you'll see the accounting for those funds, so I wanted to point that out. There's a lot here, so I'm not going to even try to go through everything, but just give a little bit of highlights. One thing that we haven't looked at as close of June is the local option tax and the receipts there. So I wanted to update the board and the public on that. Very interesting. So we've had 2 years, so it's been 2 years with the local option tax. So total receipts are around 3.2 million over the 2 years, with in FY24 1.616 and FY25 1.644. So just a little bit more in FY25, but tracking about the same in the quarterly. So and then you might ask, what have we spent those funds? What have we done with those funds? So I just did a quick look at what we had. 303,000 has been spent on paving, about 66,000 on sidewalk concrete projects. 675,000 has been put in the pension toward that underfunding position, so that. And then 1.2 million was transferred to the capital reserve fund. So both the capital reserve fund and the special revenue fund, local option tax, have some balances. $1 million in that the original local option tax, that's where we received the money, and 1.2 million in the capital reserve fund. So I will say that they have, I quote those amounts as what is in there, but they also have kind of like in FY25, of that 1.2 million, 500,000 of that is targeted for paving sidewalks in the FY26 budget. So, but
okay, questions? Alderman
Just
Gill.
to clarify, the 600,000 to the pension, that's a 2-year deposit, correct?
2-year, yes. Yep. Yep. Well, there's another 125 that is assigned for that we'll pay it out in the first quarter. So, yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, it looks
so
like we're all set. Why don't we move on?
So we had that, and then when I was looking, I'm going to focus on general fund for a moment, because when you look, we really
we had a budget, we spent the budget. You know, we had some good things in revenue, but we had a lot of expenses this year. So when you look at the city budget in total, bless you, when you look at salaries, if you looked at all of the department's salaries through,
Bless you.
bless you, salaries on to pension contributions, and that number is about $17 million. It makes up 65% of the city budget, okay? So I like to look at those larger items and say, how did we do there? So for FY '25, we had about we had $17.248 million budgeted for those items. We spent 17.220, so we almost used every nickel there. So I don't know if that was good budgeting, but it didn't leave a lot for surplus for, you know, for the next year's tax rate when you look at those numbers. That includes post-employee payouts, those accruals when someone leaves and they get paid out their accrued time. So 133,000 was that number. So that's a big number. We don't typically budget for those because we don't always know when we're doing that budget. And then if you add on top of that another $1 million that we have as a line item for the pension, you're up to 70% of this budget is really devoted salaries and benefits. So just thought I would outline that. And so I did that. And I would ask, because I'd love to get into a little bit more detail, and it's tough to do with everything, I'd love to refer to committee for the June 30. I mean, I worked over the weekend and I saw some adjustments already to make to things, just moving them around, but love to look at it a little bit by department and where things landed. So I would ask for referral to committee on the June.
Okay, is there a motion to refer?
I'll move to refer to finance.
Second.
All righty, motion's been made and seconded. Any debate? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
And then I think the next one I had was the July report.
Yep.
I will say in the June report, we'll post that on the city website. Always the quarterly reports go on the website. So for the monthly July, I present it for information only. It is changing as well as we make June adjustments that flow through. So the only thing that I saw a little bit different here is that you'll see we split the building and zoning department this year. So it's building and zoning and planning and zoning, if I have them right. So you'll see that split in those departments. Just wanted to highlight that. But not much to report on when we're 1 month in. Other than I already feel like we're 2 months in and I like stopped the spending. So, but
Well, that's the spirit.
That's the spirit of it, yeah. So those are information only for July. But again, any questions, please come on in and visit. So.
Okay, all righty. Up to this point, any questions for the treasurer? Yes, Alderman Donahue.
Just wondering if the Green Mountain Care Board's decision about fairly modest increases in healthcare costs, do those impact us here?
I think so, but I'm not sure. We're still
They
waiting
will.
for our numbers
Yeah.
for next year
Yeah.
on that.
In theory, it should.
In theory.
For us.
Yeah, yeah. We had heard 15%, double digit. I don't know what it's gonna look like when we finally get that. We did, I will say that as I quoted those salary numbers, that with health insurance, we actually did very well with our budget where we budgeted X and we didn't spend all of that. So hopefully, maybe we can almost level, when we get into next year, so we're not over budgeting for it, but, it left a little bit on the table on health insurance.
So that information comes October, early October, somewhere in there?
Yeah, and I think it hits in
September, yeah.
January and our fiscal year starts in July. So we're halfway into it anyway.
Yes, yep.
But it should work in our favor this
Yeah,
year, which is
should.
a relief, a significant relief.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep, little piece of good news, we'll take it. Okay, and the final thing here is the engagement letter from the auditor.
Yep, so that, we're scrambling with the auditors, where is it? So I thought I'd get it on the agenda and see, to get it signed. It's pretty much the same as year to year, but it really outlines the scope of the things that they're looking at. And I will say that one of the items on there is the single audit, which is the audit of all of your federal expenditures, which is quite a task. I think the threshold this year is if you spend over $750,000 in federal expenditures, then you're required to do this, have the single audit. I believe that's going up to $1 million, but we were over that too. So we are doing that this year. It's quite a big part of the audit. And I really thank all of the departments heads and everything as we go through this audit. It seems like I'm doing the reporting, but really takes a lot from everybody in the city to pull together to get this thing done, so.
Good.
I'll move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made to suspend and it's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes.
And I'll move to authorize the board president to sign the audit engagement letter from Sullivan, Powers and Company for the FY25 audit. Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any debate, any questions on that? Seeing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. All right, we moved the executive session to the end of the meeting, so we'll skip over that. Reports of standing committees. First up is the report from the Public Safety and Human Resources Committee meeting of 8/19, and I believe Alderwoman McClure is going to give us a report.
That is correct. The minutes were prepared by Alderwoman Davis, as this was a joint committee meeting of Public Safety and Human Resources. Members present were Alderman Donahue, Alderman Whitcomb, Alderman Gillum, myself, Alderwoman Davis, others, and both committees had a quorum. A lot of overlap between the two. Others present were President Allaire, Alderman Copley, Mayor Dungus, HR Director Ellen Coyle, Desiree Stone Feliciano, Chief Kilcullen, members of the Police Commission, and the Police Department. The meeting began at 5:30. The topic was non-union, non-sworn longevity for reclassified positions. 2 positions, Staff Operations Specialist and Executive Assistant to the Police Chief, were discussed in the HR Committee, and grade level increases approved by this board on 6/16/25. So the only issues before us were the retroactive pay. There was a great deal of discussion as to why these positions are due the retroactive pay from 7/1/2024. Estimated pay owed to be $16,340.02 for the Staff Specialist, and $9,007.64 for the executive. The staff specialist was previously a staff sergeant position. The chief advocated for the staff specialist based on the job became a civilian position but required the same duties as the sergeant retroactively and should be paid appropriately for performance. For the executive assistant, the chief felt it was in the salary line item for the fiscal budget 2025. An appropriate change order was provided and internal discussion held up the award. The job description was reclassified June 2024. Human Resources spoke against the retro pay due to non-union raises already provided at a specific rate as an issue of fairness. This issue has been resolved for many years. After much discussion, the motion was made to approve the request for retroactive pay as presented, subject to verification from the treasurer for the corrected dollar amount, and I believe Alderwoman Davis has that amount.
So Treasurer Markowski sent us an email later today. We had the staff specialist at $16,340.02. It's been recomputed to $16,031.36. And the executive assistant we had as $9,007.64, and it's been recomputed to $8,786.83. So we would amend that motion to reflect that change.
Okay. And let's see.
And the money for that would come from the FY26 police budget salary line item, and I so move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so the motion's been made and seconded to approve the request
President
with the new dollar figures. I'm sorry?
There's a hand from
Mary
Treasurer
Markowski.
Markowski.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you very much.
She's sitting in the corner.
Gotta have eyes behind my head. It's okay.
When I sent the email, it really is an FY '25 expense. You can't just arbitrarily move it to '26 because it really covers salaries 7/1/24 to 6/30/25. So even if I were to post it in '26, the auditors would have me reverse it. And
Right.
so it is an FY '25 expense, so
Yeah.
just for clarity.
Okay, all righty. So, anyone have any questions for Alderwoman McClure? Any debate on that motion? Seeing none. Although, well, there's the chief. Yeah.
Welcome. Thank you. So in the original documentation I provided, it did indicate, subject to the verification by the Treasurer's Office, with retroactive pay, the process has always been, it's calculated by both the department and by payroll/treasurer's office. And when there's a disagreement, then the two parties the two offices get together and figure out which one's correct. Is either one correct, or is it somewhere in the middle? That hasn't happened. I mean, we're talking, in one of these cases, the difference of $200 and some, one was $300 and some, but we want it to be accurate. We haven't, and I know today was a short week because of the holiday yesterday, and so there wasn't time to do that for the two departments to get together and figure out which one's accurate or which one's correct. So I'd like that opportunity. I don't think it's going to exceed the number that we gave you. The number the Treasurer payroll had was a couple $100, it said lower on both cases. But we'd like the opportunity to sort of come to agreement on what that figure is.
If I may.
You may, Alderwoman Davis.
So on the staff operations specialist, the difference was $308.66. The executive assistant was $220.80. But the treasurer already also put in FICA, state tax, pension, retirement with an estimate of $2,500 additional for those. Okay, so
And
those
those,
are there as well.
yeah, right. And so again, when we calculate the retroactive pay, it's what's due to the employee. There are, as we spoke at the committee meeting, there are some associated fringe costs that would have to be paid, obviously. And the numbers that are reflected there will change if the calculation changes. So the FICA itself is 7.65%. So if it goes up, one goes up by $200, then it would be 7.65 on the 200. So that would be an increase. But again, I would like the opportunity to sort of agree on what that figure is before we have a motion to approve a particular amount.
So the motion is on the floor to approve those amounts, and it's been seconded, and we have a request from the chief. What's the board's pleasure?
Would it matter if we tabled it to the next meeting? So we get one motion, one number, we're all in agreement? And I'm not trying to derail it because I support it, but
Yeah.
I just
I don't
wanted
have a
to
problem with it. I don't have a problem. So I'll motion to table until the police chief and treasurer have an opportunity to make sure they're agreeable on the final amount.
And hopefully we can do that before the next meeting.
I think typically, it doesn't typically take that long, but again, this was a short week. I know Mary was on vacation last week. This was a short week, so payroll had to get done today.
Sure. Yeah, well, yeah, we got the email later this afternoon.
Second.
Okay, so the motion has been made to table it, and it's been seconded. There's, motion to table is non-debatable. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion passes, so it's tabled to the next meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next up.
And the minutes do not conclude time at which the meeting ended, so respectfully submitted.
Okay, great, thank you very much. All righty, so we will move along. Reports of select committees, nothing. Reports of representatives, looks like Alderman Donahue has a report as our representative to the school board.
Yes, I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. So we did meet last Tuesday night at the Longfellow main office for the Rutland City Public Schools with the school board. And I just want to mention that 2 new school board members were installed, if you will. Appointments by the mayor unanimously approved by the school board. Deanna Goldberg was approved for the school board, and Lauren Weiss. So congratulations to both of them. And also to Pam Reed, the new superintendent of schools. And they were all in attendance. In a nutshell, we had a brief presentation, but it did go on with some tremendous questions from the school board regarding the tax increment financing district, the hotel and living space, the bond vote specifically, and it was led by our consultant, Stephanie Clark of White and Burke, and also in attendance was, of course, myself, Lyle Jepson of the Chamber and Economic Development of the Rutland Region, Ed Bove, Rutland City Planning Director, and Sean Adkins of the Rutland Redevelopment Authority. I did want to just suggest to folks that I thought the school board just had some excellent questions, and I thought we had some excellent answers. Specifically, Stephanie was right on point, and so I think it's very valuable, and I just wanted to mention that because it is on PEG TV, as well as PEG TV's YouTube channel, and I would encourage people to watch it. There's some very salient points in there about the project, the proposal, and the bond issue, and why it would be something that we would encourage people to support. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, you're welcome, and I think that's a good point to make, that just FYI for the people listening at home, we are, I think, 5 weeks out from the vote, 5 weeks from tomorrow. The more information that we can get out there, the better, so people are informed when they go to the ballot box, and hopefully we'll get a good turnout. So, thank you very much.
I think because we're actually meeting Tuesday, it'd be...
Oh, well,
Tuesday,
5 weeks from
October-
today.
Tuesday, October 7th, right?
There you go, exactly. Okay, thank you. All righty, so, petitions, letters, miscellaneous communications, nothing. Board of Control Commissioners, nothing. Cannabis Commissioners, nothing. Is there any unfinished business to come before the board tonight? Seeing none. Miscellaneous motions, resolutions, new business before the board?
If I may.
You may.
And I'll be quick. With the article that was in the paper today, I don't know if folks got a chance to read it, about, that Gordon wrote about the issue on Central Avenue with a house that is housing, I'm not really sure, mental health type of issues, I guess I'll put it. It's overseen, I think, by the state. It's called under Dale, Department of whatever, I don't know the acronym to speak of, but it raises great concern, and the reason I bring it up is because I was contacted by Mrs. Jeffo, I'm going to say a year ago, and talked with her several times, met with her. I spoke with the police chief. I talked with some of our senators, and we kind of went back and forth, and I really thought it had gotten resolved because I didn't hear again from Mrs. Jeffo. And I was saddened to read that it's continuing to be a problem. I don't know that this board has any power, but I think we have to really be concerned about these houses popping up in the middle of residential neighborhoods that may have folks in there that are trained to oversee, but they're also limited on what they can do. They can't lock the person in the house. They can't restrain this person. And this particular individual is going into other people's homes. And a lot of them are elderly around there. She's physically hurting these people. And this has got to stop. And I'm going to refer it to public safety. I don't know that we can do anything with it, but I think we have to have a conversation about it. And I think we have to send a message to the state of Vermont that this is not something that should be sitting in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Okay, so that's a motion to refer. It's been seconded. Any debate? Alderman Coopely?
I was under the impression that Rutland Mental Health operated these homes.
Not this one.
I'm not sure that that's
Yeah,
true.
I'm not either. And I think that's the investigation that we have to do to some degree. I know, if I may, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I know that when I was speaking with the folks up on Central Avenue a year ago, I'll say, it was the Department of whatever Dale stands for.
Alderman Gill.
And that particular house is run by a contractor of the federal government. and they own the house also. So that's part of the problem. And they have caretakers in there taking care of two people. So this problem's a little bit deeper than this. So we need to, and I agree with Alderman Davis, that we need to look at this for public safety issues in that neighborhood and any other neighborhood that's got a facility like that not being managed properly.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing none, motion is to refer. It's been seconded. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, thank you. All righty. Anything else? Miscellaneous motion resolutions? We do have a executive session lined up here and regarding a grievance. And if you could just stand down for 2 seconds while I confer with the. Do we have any language for the executive session?
Billy, or Tom. Oh,
There we
geez,
go.
you're gonna get it.
Thank you. That's a good place
It's
for
gonna
it.
David, you're gonna hit that again. It's right behind you.
Right behind me. Thank you. Yep. Yeah, that's okay.
You need a motion?
So I would say a motion that any premature general public knowledge would clearly place the public body or person involved at a substantial disadvantage. And under one, it would be either contracts, labor relations, agreements, or employees, or arbitration. I believe this comes under labor relations agreements. So
moved.
Motion's been made and seconded to go into executive session. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Okay, we'll stand down for a couple of minutes.